Welcome back to another season of Power in Your Voice. In this season, we would like to focus more on praying for all of our listeners. The past seasons have been words of encouragement, words of affirmation, and words that challenged us in every season of our life. This season, we want to continue to water the seeds that have been planted. I hope that as you prepare to listen to today's podcast, that you will take a moment and take a deep breath, relax, and hear the voice of the Lord.
Welcome back to the Power in Your Voice. Again, this is Dr. Linda. I appreciate all of my listeners. I cannot thank you enough for tuning in and listening to me and my family as we go through memory lane. Last week we were just talking about just a wish. And this time we're coming back. I want to talk about our youth a little bit more because I have the opportunity to have my son who really loves this career working with youth. He's worked with troubled youth and all types of things. And then, they're going through with their children as youth. And so I have that great opportunity. And y'all, I'm so happy to have my husband, Apostle Daniel Pomerlee, is with us. My daughter Renice is with us. My daughter Ebony is with us. This is actually called a family affair. Yes. So I want you to tune in to a family affair. Now we're going to talk about these youth. Renice, why don't you ask Anthony that same question that you asked him earlier?
I asked Anthony, if you had the mind that you have now, would you have done some of the things that you did previous in your youth?
That's a hard question because some of the mistakes I made still brought joy to me. So that is really hard. I have two kids from a prior marriage that did not work out and that I don't think was meant for me. But at the time, what I was looking for and what I thought I wanted, it just wasn't right. But I did have two kids that are joy to me. I have a 19-year-old son, and I have a daughter that's about to be 18. And seeing them now and helping them grow into the people they want to be, it stressed me out. But at the same time, it's a joy to watch them grow because I seen where I was when I had them. I was not in a good place, and they weren't either. So seeing us overcome the bad of where we were, it's a joy to me to see them grow and do what they're doing and trying and they're learning and they're making mistakes too right now, huge mistakes. But then seeing them, overcome those mistakes and clean up their messes and teaching them and training them off of my mistake. So it's hard to say what I would change because that's what made me who I am. You get what I'm saying? So it's really difficult to say what I would change. I don't really think I would change anything because at a point, I didn't know I was going into a storm. I was just it was a sunny day. I had good parents. We stayed on Air Force Base. We were protected. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we were fed. We were clothed. So I was, in a way, I was very protected. So when I did go out into that storm, I had no idea what I was going into. So when it happened, I kind of just wrote with it and just prayed. And thank God I had praying parents that actually, if it wasn't for their prayers, I don't know how far I would be or if I would have even made it out. So as far as changing though, I don't know if I'll change too much because what I've learned now, it's helping me raise my children.
That is so good, Anthony. I mean, it really gives us a great eye opener. You talked about, uh, seeing them make mistakes, it could stress you out. So I'm going to ask your father about that same situation, about when we were watching you all grow and watching you make mistakes. How did that feel to you, and how did that look to you, Daniel?
For one, just watching them grow was one thing, but watching them make mistakes was another thing. And I guess I have compassion for my kids, and I really can't stand to see them make mistakes. And when I say that, I mean we're not perfect, but I can't see them make mistakes that would cause hurt, pain, or any kind of strife to them. That hurts me, whether I let them know that or not. And I know sometimes pain brings growth, because some things you deal with, some things that hurt you, you learn not to go through it, or next time you go through it, you do something different. And sometimes it's kind of hard to see them grow up with growing pains. So as a father, I don't know, I just tried to be the best protector that I could be, and try to steer them away from as much as I could. I even made a life commitment or a sacrifice to not go to the East Coast, Virginia, but come to Idaho, just to make sure that they had a right to a good life and not have to go through any ordeals with people or children because they didn't like either how they look or they wanted what they had. So I guess that's where I'm at. I mean, I know they had to grow from their mistakes, but as a father, it's just kind of hard to watch them go through it sometimes.
That's good. So many parents struggle with that, watching their children grow. I'm not going to say that it didn't cause me stress, but I really did understand just a little bit of it. I would say to my husband, they have to spread their wings. They have to get their own journey. They have to know their own road. Like my husband, he grew up differently from what I grew up. He knew what he wanted. He knew his path. He went to the military. He had order in his life. We had order, but we like to go outside of the ordinary. And we would try things. And so I didn't always like it. And I want to just say, even to our parents, as Anthony has stated, his mistakes, he cannot say that he didn't enjoy it, because something great came out of it. We have two beautiful, one handsome grandson, and we're now watching and grooming them. The greatest thing that I love with this, and Ebony has two children that she's watching do the same thing. The thing that I love, that I'm still here, alive, to be here to pray for them and to make sure when they do fall back, and every person don't have this, but they have a cushion. I just feel like that. Y'all. I have my son Wes on here, and he has children, and he had to watch his children grow up. And there are things that they do, and choices that they make. Ooh, they make us cringe, y'all. Oh my God. Come on, son. Talk to me, Wes.
Yeah, this is a good question. Yeah, and when you have kids, they definitely, make some decisions and some choices that probably have you wondering a little bit. But but what I've learned watching my kids grow up is man, that kids gonna be kids. And sometimes they may make some choices and decisions and things that that we won't agree with. But I thank God that he yet still keeps them and he covers them. I talked to my youngest daughter today, and man, she's, there's some things that she's done that, we probably wouldn't have chosen for her. But, like I told her mom, I was like, well, thank God that, she's doing well. She's not, strung out on drugs somewhere and in the street, but she's responsible. She's got her own place. She got 2 jobs. She's doing good. And, we just keep covering her in prayer. And, she knows how she's been raised. And we just have to trust God that He's going to, give her, good decision making. And like I tell all of my kids that, for the most part, man, we gotta, they gonna grow up. My parents let me grow up, and I didn't always make the best of decisions, but through prayer, man, God kept me. I'm still alive, and even when I didn't want to be in church, that's where I ended. That's where I ended back up at. And I tell all my kids that, man, Dad, he gonna let you grow up and do your thing. And as long as it's not, if it turns into life, limb, or eyesight or something, I'm gonna jump in there. I'm gonna be a little bit more forceful. But otherwise, Dad gonna sleep good at night. Knowing that you're good, and God is keeping you covered. So yeah, I mean, and having kids, they definitely help you to grow up, and they teach you a lot of things. But I'm thankful and grateful for what God is doing in their life, and He's keeping them. Even when we're not there to watch them and guide them along the way, He's there to watch over them and keep them for us. So yeah, it's good. It has its good days and its bad. But thank God that the good outweigh the bad.
That's good. That's good. We're just having a family affair talking. Anthony, I'm coming back to you again because you like working with youth. What would you say that's what we should realize, or what we should maybe just not back off of, but kind of let them grow? I want to hear you.
Well, it's this generation. You probably hear that a lot. This generation. But you gotta understand when you were a youth, how much it changed. You know what I'm saying? From now to then. So we have to realize how much it's changed. What was the style back then? What was y'all was probably wearing bell bottoms, dad, mom. you know. But I'm just saying, like, everything has changes right now. Um, the devil has taken over TV. All you
Yeah.
seeing is skin. Everywhere you look, it's skin, skin, skin. And
Yep.
so our girls are they're looking at that, and as parents, we telling them no. No, that's not happening. No, that's not going. No, no, no. But then again, when they leave your home, they have their own brain. They have what they wanted. They have what they saw. So how do we go about that, right? So um me, so I got 2 little girls I'm raising right now, and right now they under my thumb. They listening right now. They young, they 10 and they 8, so they ain't got much say right now. But as they get older, I kind of need help. I kind of need guidance on how to lead them or guide them in the right direction, because TV has taken over. Yeah, you could cut off the TV, but then they on YouTube. You could cut off YouTube, but then they on TikTok. So I think that we need to understand what direction, like, this world is going, and kind of what's ahead of us, instead of when we get there. No, 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 no. Understand, this is what they see. This is what they deal with on an everyday basis. You get what I'm saying? So they don't see it as wrong. We know it's wrong, but they don't see it as wrong. They see it as everyone else is doing it. Because I was one of them kids. I ain't gonna tell no story. My friends was going to parties. I wanted to go. They were out late. They didn't have too many curfews. I didn't want no curfew, but guess what? That ain't what it was. So when I got older, I kind of rebelled. I said, you know what? Now I'm 18. I don't have no curfew. I could do what I want. And I ran straight into a wall. So sometimes you gotta let the leash go a little bit and let them learn. And when they hit that wall, pull it on back in and teach them and sit them down. What you think about that? How did that feel? You know what I'm saying? So I think let it go a little bit. Let that leash go a little bit. Let them go see for themselves how this world, how cruel this world could be. And I think that's how kids are being taught now.
Okay. That what you're saying is, it's scary, Anthony. It's a really scary place to just let that lease go. Come on, Ebony, weigh in on that. Talk to me.
Y'all, I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't weigh in too much because mine are 11 and 9. They are under my thumb. Yes, they are trying to get entangled with little things, but just as my mom said earlier, I thank God that we have that cushion. I can call my mom if I be like, I don't know how to deal with this. I call my sister on certain things. I call my brother because I'm like, y'all help me. So what I can say to those parents is it's okay to be in the unknown. I don't know what to do. But what it's not okay to do is not ask for help. If you see your
Yes.
child going down the wrong road and you just don't know how to correct it because as Anthony mentioned, so many things are changed, have changed. When we was growing up, you didn't have social media. You didn't have all this other stuff. So now you have it and you have to ask for help. How did you get through this? I have a couple of friends that their kids are older. I called them too. Hey, did your kids go through this? How did y'all get through this? They give me their suggestions and things like that. And of course, prayer is the top. But that's what I can say to, those parents, you hear me. I don't have much to weigh in because I'm in that place of I need help. Help me to raise my kids so that they're not strung out. They're not alcoholics. They're not entangled with the wrong crowds or, things like that. They're not cyber bullied or anything else. Help me that they're not entangled with pornography. Like, help me. So that's what I thank God that I have our family and we talk about things like this. I can call my cousins, the boy cousins, all of them and say, hey, this what my son is doing, y'all. Help me. So I thank God for that.
That's great. As I said earlier, this is just called a family affair. Um, we are so blessed. When you look back, when we were growing up, you're saying, "There's no way I would think like that." As we have said over and over, this world has changed. Oh my God. Our demons are not the demons that we dealt with. Our demons now is social media. That's what our demons are today. And I tell you, come on, Bernice, weigh in. Let's go.
I'm really just enjoying listening because this is it's really good for the simple fact. No, it says it takes a village to raise a child, but no one ever told you what the village was. And I tell you, I thank God because He created family. He created family because even in the midst of everything that our children go through, we're able to call and lean up on one another. And the thing that we are so based upon is the Word of God, where our faith is solid in the Word of God. But the one thing I will say is, I don't care how far your children think they will go. Teach them the standard. Teach them the standard so that when they get older, I'm not telling you they're not going to do what they think they big and bad enough to do because they're going to try it. And the thing for me that I find more amazing that blows my mind is I thought it would have been my oldest daughter that tried everything. And it's my youngest. And I find out things seem like daily for her. I'm like, then what? But here's what I love. She might not necessarily call her dad, but she'll say stuff like, this is how God is so real to us. She'll say, well, I talked to Granny, or I talked to TT, or I talked to Uncle Anthony, or I talked to Uncle Darren. What gives me comfort? You didn't have to come and tell me. Yeah, I'm a mama bear. But you didn't have to come and tell me. You talk to people that will give you good guidance. And because the standard is in you, you knew you did something that was not okay. And you had to go back to somebody that will help you put you back on the path. And so it's not an easy journey. It's scary. And like Anthony said, and I never would have thought that my brother would have said this, the devil done got in the TV. And it's so amazing to me that how he views things now, to understand. And this is my thing, and I'm getting ready to turn back over to Dr. Linda. It's not that we weren't all taught. And the same thing for many people that are listening. You may have 3 or 4 children, may have 1 or 2 children. Just because you teach them the way, that does not mean that they're not going to try their own things. But what I will say to you is learn how to be a parent. And so oftentimes we have become our children's friends. And we watch friends come and go. And we watch friends do things that your household did not teach. But what we fail to do is be parents, because we want to be reachable. We want to make sure that they have someone to go to. I want to be there for them. Yeah, we're going to be there for them, but I'm not going to just allow you to do whatever you think you can, and then you're destroyed and we don't know how to bring you back. And I will say to every listener that is out there, I understand that your children are going to try different things in life. We did. So don't think that your child won't. But know how to be a parent. And that's what our children lack so often today, is having parents. That's all I can say about that one.
All right. This has been a great Peace family affair as we get ready to come to a close. Daniel and I, we had standards because we both was challenged to go and see what the world had to offer. And so we both had a little bit of knowing how to still reach our children. And even with all of the challenges that we had, I stand in agreements, we still had standards. And no matter how they would try, when they came back to the house, we taught, sometimes we disciplined. It just depends on what the situation was. But I believe in the Almighty God. And I believe that He helps us. He guides us. And I have a great mom. I had a great dad. And I tell you what, they set those standards. And no matter what we tried to do, and no matter how we tried to go out of the pattern, they made sure that we knew who we were. And so there were certain things they said they were not going to accept. Because they did not accept those things, that's why we are the peoples that we are today. And we knew that our mother and our father and that village was praying for us. And prayer is still the key today. I pray for my children day and night. I'm like Enoch. That's how I got to know the Lord real good, because of my kids. And I wanted God to help me to lead them and guide them. And that's why I think I'm great with that. And I think my husband is great with it. We had the opportunity to see where we great. We had the opportunity to have our grandson back into our home. And I tell you what, it was a challenge for my husband. But I knew just what to do because I said, I'm now raising my baby son all over again. And the mistakes that I made with my baby son, I said I will not make them with my grandson. So what we did was, when he would come up on that challenge, I said, hey, let's pipe that down. Let's talk about it. What's really going on? And because there's always a seed behind whatever is happening. All right, y'all. Don't give up. Just remember, we were just having a family affair. God bless you all. I love you. Peace out.